Alright guys, what is going on? I'm Tubby. Hopefully this match does not end in less than 18 seconds. Actually, I don't think we get two falls in 18 seconds because there's not that many matches on the card. So this one, I think, might possibly steal the show. I think the main event's going to be a little boring. This has potential. Now, there's been wild speculation that says there will be a super fast fall again. That right when the bell rings, bam, cheap shot win for Sheamus getting, number one. I could legitimately see that happening. I think, while that could potentially happen, I don't think it'll end within 5 minutes. I think that now that we're past WrestleMania, we're past them trying to beat the record, this has got amazing potential. AJ is going on kind of a rampage ever since Daniel Bryan broke up with her. She beat the shit out of Natalya in the ring. She slapped her best friend Caitlyn on Friday Night SmackDown. And the No Way Out poster for WWE No Way Out 2012 features Daniel Bryan tied up in ropes with AJ holding him hostage. He's like pulling the strings. And I think that goes to show that this feud, whether or not it's this feud necessarily, but we'll definitely get to see Daniel Bryan and, AJ's storyline continue. One of the things I think is kind of interesting in this match is I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan. Always have been. Not in really his earlier days, kind of like 2009, 2010 when I actually started to pay attention to him. It was interesting to me that, the WWE took this along with him. Everybody says he's bad on the mic. I think he's actually doing pretty well. He's kind of gotten away from the vegan gimmick now. It almost seems unfair to Sheamus. And if you know what I'm talking about, Sheamus was built up, to basically be the next champion. He won Royal Rumble. He won leading up to his matches. He gets huge pops now. He's probably one of the biggest pop getters on Friday Night SmackDown. But yet he's still getting buried under Daniel Bryan because of the yes chance, because of what happened at WrestleMania, where WrestleMania 28 should have been the burial of Daniel Bryan. I don't even think the WWE expected them the chance that and the booing of Sheamus. I don't think anybody expected that, but it did, and that's what happened. And you have two guys I think can go out and put on a show. Sheamus O'Shaughnessy, Bryan Danielson are going to go out there, and I think the first fall will be dominated by Sheamus. I think it'll be within 30 seconds, and then Daniel Bryan will dominate the second fall, and then it'll all come down to the last fall. Now, whether or not AJ gets involved or she helps Daniel Bryan win, she causes him the loss, who knows? The one thing I do know is, unfortunately, as much as I love Daniel Bryan, I don't see him being able to pull out a victory here. And the reason I say that is because they could potentially, carry this feud on, but then what are you going to do with Alberto Del Rio, Mark Henry, Christian, all these superstars now that are back or, getting ready to be back in the title picture? What are you going to do with them if it's still Daniel Bryan and Sheamus? I don't see it being like a Randy Orton Christian segment, and then including Randy Orton, going for a title run. I don't see, last year what happened when they faced each other like at 3 pay-per-views. I don't see that scenario going here. They faced off for WrestleMania, they faced off. Maybe they can stretch it to No Way Out. I think there is definitely a possibility. But I don't see the WWE letting Daniel Bryan win, get the title back, and then Daniel Bryan winning the rematch, because that just effectively almost buries Sheamus. Now, does Sheamus need a title to be popular on SmackDown? I don't think so. I think, the whole kicking your arse gimmick and, him being more of a face and people loving him, I think is good. I like him a lot better than that ruthless, character he was doing last year against Triple H 2 years ago. And I think when it comes down to it, Sheamus is going to decide his own fate. It all depends what happens with AJ. I've been thinking about this constantly and looking over as many different rumor sites as I could and all these different ones speculating what's going to happen. Some say AJ is going to cause Daniel Bryan the victory inadvertently. Some people say they're going to help her win. And to me, I think the only way Daniel Bryan wins this match and picks up the title is either the last fall ends in DQ. That way the title doesn't change hands, possibly. That way they have to feud one more match. But I think what was the pay-per-view? It goes No Way Out, and then it goes Money in the Bank, and then it comes up to SummerSlam, and there's like 3 pay-per-views in a row. And, Randy Orton's supposed to get back in the title picture. So one of these guys either has to fall back down. Now, Daniel Bryan doesn't necessarily right now, I think, need the title. I don't think, he necessarily needs it. But at the same time, I don't think Sheamus needs it either. I think the WWE will eventually go back to giving the title on Randy Orton. Or Randy Orton, as everybody seems to call Randy Orton in my comments. He actually is a really good wrestler. And then they both put on a hell of a show last year, Christian. And it kind of sucks that the SmackDown talent is so, full at the top. I think one of these guys will eventually get traded to Raw. One of the speculation is that possibly Daniel Bryan loses and then gets drafted over to Raw, and then he can feud with CM Punk or go whatever. There's also, speculation of him not losing. There's some people saying he's going to win, and that basically sets up, they'll have one more rematch, but that could potentially mean Christian versus Daniel Bryan. A lot of those scenarios I just don't see happening. I see Sheamus getting the victory on an account, possibly on the hands of AJ. I'm going to go ahead and say in my prediction that Daniel Bryan loses because of AJ. Sheamus is going to hit a Brogue Kick. I think it has to end on a Brogue Kick. They've been signifying the Brogue Kick as his dominant move. I don't think you'll see a Celtic Cross. Celtic Cross. I think it'll end by a Brogue Kick, guys. My name is Tubby. Daniel Bryan's going to lose. Unfortunately, Extreme Rules. If he comes out victorious, I'll be super happy, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to win? And make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out. Tubby out.